Good day, everyone. Welcome to P.O.D.C.A.S.T Podcast.
This is Hannah Saligumba,
And this is Kylie Sinyeres,
leading you for today's amazing talks. Surely communicate with you well.
So speaking of communication for today's talk, we will have a guest to interview and they will share how effective communication is essential when it comes to connecting and building with every diverse culture.
Oh yes, partner, as we all know, misunderstandings and misinterpretation are more likely to happen on people with different cultures.
Oh yes, and so today we will listen to their opinions about our topic. Our topic for today is importance of effective communication in building connections among culture.
Particularly, partner, these people have always been an observant and
Wow.
also have an experience about our topic. Let us all acknowledge Miss Althea, our first guest.
Oh, our first guest is Mrs. Althea. Hi, hello, Miss Althea.
So hello everyone, it's been a pleasure to be here and be able to talk with you guys.
Oh, well, it's an honor, Miss Althea. And so to start this chit chat, I would like to ask you first on what your opinion about effective communication.
So about that question, to have a good or better conversation, we should apply the 6 types of communication principle.
Wow, a 6 types communication principle. What's the types of communication principle, Miss Althea?
So first, we have clarity, conscientiousness, completeness, consideration, coherence, and lastly, cultural sensitivity to avoid misunderstanding and the confusion of both communication.
Wow, partner! Now we are all enlightened about effective communication thanks to our lovely guest, Miss Althea.
Yes, thank you, Miss Althea. Now that we know how many various perspective effective communication affects, we should pay attention to what Miss Althea has to say about cultural boundaries, especially in languages. Cause how would we communicate effectively if we have language barriers with others? Right, Miss Althea?
Yes, you're right. We know a lot of people experience communication barrier, and I do experience it with the other cultures.
Wow, experiencing other culture.
Yes, you're right. I tell you my experience. First, I was confused and shocked because we both know there's a mistake in our conversation. Like, what should I say? We both know we don't understand each other because of the communication barriers. So we can unable to understand each other because of the misunderstanding.
Yes, that's true.
So we have a struggle to understand each other, spoken or written words. Because of this, we lead misunderstanding and misinterpreting. So even in nonverbal communication lead us also to in misunderstanding because what if we make a mistake gesture, right?
Yes, that's right. I agree with you, Miss Althea.
So I learned from that experience we should know our boundaries of each other, also the culture and language of the other, to less misunderstanding. In conclusion, language barriers present real challenges in communication, really challenges to us guys. But with patience, empathy, creativity, and the strategic use of tools and resources, individuals and groups can successfully overcome these barriers to establish meaningful connections and build bridges of understanding across linguistic boundaries.
Wow, the challenge of the patience, empathy, creativity, and the strategic use of tools and resource. Well, speaking of language, we will hear some words from Miss Laika. So, Miss Laika, how can you build a good interaction or relationship with cultures in your own language? But before that, please say hello to our listeners.
Hello, amazing people! It's been a great opportunity to be one of your speakers for today's podcast.
Yes, we are grateful that you are here, Miss Laika. I hope you have the knowledge about language barriers. Please explain it to us and expound it to make our listeners more knowledgeable. Am I right, Miss Laika?
Yes. Well, about that question, I am a curious person. So, I will ask them about their personal life, including their family and their culture. I like listening to them. And Filipinos are very hospitable and adaptable people. We always adjust to try to understand people, especially other cultures or foreigners.
Wow, understanding other cultures with respect.
Your response are interesting, Miss Laika. And I'm getting really curious, partner, about how would you
Oh.
balance the cultural language when it comes to interaction.
Wow.
Well, for me, I like sharing our own culture, our own language. So I'll probably share what made us proud about being Davaoeño and a Filipino.
Wow, being proud of Filipino and a Davaoeño people. Just wow, imagine partner.
Yes, partner.
Effective communication really have a broader essence in building connections to everyone.
Oh yes, partner, you're right. Our topic is important, especially when you socialize with people. And socializing is a must, as we're aware that we can't live without any acquaintances.
Yes, we can't leave any acquaintances. Do you agree, Miss Laika?
Yes, I agree. Actually, for me, language barrier really affect communication, and that stops us from building connections because of misunderstandings.
Wow, misunderstanding, Miss Laika.
Yes, Miss Laika, you're right.
For example, like when we were speaking Bisaya here in Davao, for us, langgam is a bird. But for Manila, or people from Luzon, langgam for them is ant. Or when it comes to other countries, it's okay for them to use explicit language or call older persons by their names, but for us, it is rude.
Oh, we have differences in every cultures. Right, in the Philippines, we have 100 plus language that we use. Am I
Yes.
right, partner?
Yes, partner, you are right. Because here in Philippines, we are very diverse when it comes to culture.
Wow, we are diverse in every culture. You know what? This talks is a lot of new learnings. But so sad to say that it's already time. So that's you all guys. My partner will have a quick recap to our topic.
Thank you, partner. Oh yes, our lovely listeners, always remember that we can build a good connection and interaction if we understand every language barriers and respect as well as their culture.
That's a quick recap from Hannah Saligumba, and thank you to our guests, Miss Laika and Miss Althea.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for us to
Also
be here
for me
today.
too.
Okay, so we are honored that you joined our podcast today, and I hope our listeners learned something that they might apply in the future. Again, we are DA, the Assumptionista Podcast. If you have question about language barrier, just comment down below. This is our time, guys. See you to our next streaming.